Flag salute. I
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act has been given in the following manner. By emailing written notice to the Courier Post in the retrospect on January 10, 2019. By posting written notice on the official bulletin board at the municipal building on January 10, 2019. By filing written notice with the clerk of the Borough of Woodlynne on January 10, 2019.
roll call.
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mrs. Feliciano?
She's out. She had an emergency.
President Early?
Here.
Mayor Fuentes?
Here. We start now with committee report. We start now with public safety, Councilman Fuentes. I'm sorry, Councilwoman Torres.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Members of the Council President, members of the public. My report is for the month of February. Total for the month. Calls for services was 256. Parking summons was 7. Moving violations 14. Adult arrest 2. Juvenile arrest 1. Driving under the influence 0. Bureau ordinance 5. The department totaled 5 vehicles during the month. Uniform crime report. Robbery was 1. Aggravated assault 9. Simple assault 3. Theft 2. Burglary 6. Disorderly conduct 34. Drug offenses 1. Motor vehicle theft 5. That's my report, respectfully submitted by Edwin Figueroa, Department of Public Safety.
You heard the report of public safety. Can I get a motion second to receive and file?
Motion.
Motion by Council President Early, second by Councilman Chouwaki. Any question? Full vote.
Mr. Chouwaki? Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. At this point, we now start with Finance, Councilman Fuentes.
Mayor, public, this is my report that was given to me. 2/21 to 2/2019. Okay. Property taxes count 624. 2018 was 26,697.92 cents. 2019, 713,740. I meant 843 and 36 cents. Let me go back to 2018, which is nothing unexpected, same. 220 interest is $2,164.13, which is total of $742.609.11. Interest $13.70. Tax payment was interest was $2177.83, which is a total of $743,719.11. Tax installment charges, payment 2, count $275. Interest $13.12. Total of $288.12. Outside lien recording fee $379. The total $379. outstanding lien redemption, $11,908.05. Interest, $2,317.03. Total of $14,225.68. Lien payments was total of $12,287.55. Interest, $2,317.03, which is total of $14,604.68. Dog cat license fee, $44.50. Total is $44.50. That's the same total for animal license payments. CCA training fee, count was 6, which is $29. Total $29. Certificate occupancy, $480. Total $480. Construction permits, $451. Total $451. Landlord registration, $1,650. Total is $1,650. Mercantile license, $100. Total $100. Landlord re-inspection, $120. Total $120. Discovery release, $43. Total $43. All rentals, $610. Total $610. mRNA, 13. Total $23,904.50, which is the total of $23,904.50. Miscellaneous payments received, total 51 count, total of $27,427.50, which is a total of $27,427.50. Payments total 714 count. That's $39,759.65. 2018 was $26,972.92. 2019, $714,843.36. Interest, $4,507.98, which is a total of $786,083.91. That's NSF reversal total. Total cash, $69,412.74. Total check, $716,671.17. Total credit, 0. Total license, this is for receipt total from 20119 to 28 principals. Counts. Total license fee was $32.50. Total duplicate fee, nothing. Total New Jersey cop fee, $6. Total New Jersey clinic fee, $1. Total New Jersey regular, $5. Total late fee, nothing. This is my report that was given to me.
Can I get a motion second to receive and file?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman President, second by Councilman Chouwaki. Any question? I do want to make a correction on that for the hall rental. That's not the correct total amount for it. What you do have for hall rental for the month of February will be, Councilman Cook will be reading that. What that is a total of what was collected, because you might have a hall rental that's due in maybe in March, or in May or June that somebody put a deposit, so that'll take that number up and will show that there's another additional hall rental, but it's not an additional hall rental. It's not scheduled for that month. Yeah, it's just revenue that was taken, but that number still is not for the month of March. Yeah, or February. You have the numbers for the hall rental, and I think Councilman Fuentes read 6 hall rental. It's just 6 hall rental that people pay towards. That's not scheduled for, those 6 did not take place in February. Okay, what they are is somebody might come in and say, I want to secure the hall for June and leave a deposit of $150, leave that deposit, but that was not a rental on the home. That's why I was telling Cheryl that I knew she gave me the wrong report, because yours should have your name on it. It highlights on that. All right, and that's all that I want to make a change on that. Any other, sorry?
Have the names of those listed for those rentals?
You'll get them as the month rental come in, just like you requested. Okay. So in other words, somebody rented the hall, let's say I rented the hall in April, okay, and I put a deposit down, okay? So my name would not show up on the February, because that's not a rental that took place in February. So an April meeting, you will have my name on the list if I rented the hall. Okay.
The person name, right?
Person who rented the hall, yes. Because at this point here, they can still cancel the hall rental. So I don't want to count it into as a revenue, counting it in, because they can say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to have the party because of whatever the reason, so they can cancel. So on the month-to-month, you get your hall rental report. Any other question? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. At this point here, we move forward now with buildings and property. Councilman Cook.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
Madam Secretary, members of council, and to our residents. Here's the report for public properties for March 2019. In the month of February, the Borough Hall was used for the following: Borough Hall meetings, court, hall rentals was for $150. G. Torres, repast, full price. J. Rojas birthday party for $100. And that's the end of my report for this month.
Here are the report of public buildings. Can I have a motion, second, to receive and file?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Fuentes, second by Council President Early. Any question? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early? Yes.
Oh, yes. At this point now, we move forward with emergency management. Councilman Chouwaki.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Clerk, Council President, member of the council, and the public. This is the February report for 2019 of the activities of fire department. Total calls for the month of February is 42 calls. Within that 42 calls, 8 of them goes to the fire department and 38 of them for the EMS. Increase or decrease of month comparison, we have the -1 for the fire call and -9 for the EMS compared to the month of January. For overall calls, we have less than 10 calls from last month, which is January. Percentage of overall call in reduction or increase from February to January, we have -19%. Mayor, that's the end of my report.
Here are the report of emergency management. Can I get a motion, second, to receive and file?
Cook.
Motion by Councilman Cook,
Second.
second by Councilman Fuentes. Any question? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. At this point now, we can go over with DPW. Council President.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the public, members of council. I do not have a report from Rob. He is out on medical. He did have some surgery done. He will be out until, I believe, like the middle of next month. However, him and I have been in contact on phone. He assures me both reports will be ready for next month's meeting. I do want to let residents know Due to constraints with where we take the trash to be dumped, trash is now going to be monitored a lot heavier because we cannot have any commingled metals and such items that aren't like truly trash mixed in with trash, or they will not allow us to dump the trash there anymore. So what is happening now, if we do come across that in the trash cans, they will not pick up your trash, so you have to be mindful of what you're throwing in the trash. If it's recycles, it belongs in a recycle bucket. If it's metals, you put metal out on the curb for Thursday pickup. So it's just the way it is with the dump. They will not allow us to dump anything other than genuine trash in the dumps anymore. So just want to make everyone aware of that.
I want to add on to that. I'm going to mention that. Yeah. I want to add on, be very mindful because of the situation, what's going on. What's happening right now is the trash team is getting really serious on what's being put there. If our guys continue to go out there and pick up the trash and there's recycling in there, and we collect a lot of recycling, and it's mixed in with the trash, they can take a look at our load before we dump our load, and they can refuse the load. Meaning I would have a full trash truck, full, that they would not take, meaning I would have to bring that trash truck, dump it on the yard over there, and have my guys try to sort it out. Okay? So before I have my guys sort it out, I'd rather have them refuse to pick up your trash because of not recycling or not putting in the proper trash in the container that needs to be disposed of. A lot of township is doing this. This is not just Woodlynne. This is being done because to where we take our trash to. Okay? So they're making sure that all these other townships that takes their trash over there, they're telling them the same thing. So it's not just Woodlynne. I want to make that very clear. The other thing too is TVs, computers, electronic will no longer be picked up. There will be a location where you can take it to. Okay? The trash team would not take TVs, computers, electronic. They would not take it. Okay? So if you're mixing it out there, you're leaving it out there, I'll let you know. We're going to put everything in the newsletter, educate the residents about this, but making sure that the electronic is going to be taken to a location that we will provide you several locations where you can take your electronic to. We will no longer be picking it up because it would be an additional charge. All the Camden County Township are being told the same thing. Okay? So just want to make sure and make it very clear. So if your trash is not being picked up because of mixed recycle or mixed use, you will be tagged and notified that your trash was not picked up for whatever reason. Okay? If your trash is not picked up, and let's just say your trash has only trash and they didn't pick it up, please call the borough. We're open. We can have our guys swing by, take a look at it, why the trash was not picked up. Okay? And if it have to be picked up because maybe the guys, it was an oversight, guys will come pick it up. But understanding that when the trash do go by, we tell people to put out your trash the night before. So therefore, do not miss the trash truck coming by your street. And then also understanding that if you have construction material, they will not pick it up. Because again, people will mix in paint, they will mix in concrete, and they will mix up other stuff in there. So just make sure, be aware of what you're putting out there, okay? If you're not sure, just call the borough, and we can provide you with a list of stuff for public work. Okay. Anything else from the public work?
That's it.
Okay, can I get a motion, motion second, right?
Motion.
Full vote.
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Any question on it? We talked already. Full vote.
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. You have Councilwoman
I did,
Feliciano
I can
for,
read that, yes.
we'll have the Councilwoman Feliciano for Public Affairs Recreation.
Mayor, members of the public, again, This is the Public Affair and Recreations Report for the month of March. Senior luncheon is March the 28th at 12 noon. It'll be held here at the hall. Earth Day for the, with the kids at the school is on April 18th at 1 o'clock. The Easter egg hunt is April 13th at the playground. Rain date is April the 20th, and it starts at noon sharp. It's at 4th and Evergreen. And if everybody's been to the Easter egg hunt, if you don't get there by noon, you lose out because it goes very quickly. And that concludes the report for the month of March.
You heard the report, Public Fair and Recreation. Can I get a motion second to receive and file? Motion by Councilman Chouwaki. Second by Councilwoman Torres. Any question? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. We'll move on with ordinance 2019-1, public hearing and adoption. An ordinance amending chapter 87 of the Code of the Borough of Woodlynne, County of Kansas, State of New Jersey, entitled Park and Handicap. At this point here, can I get a motion second?
Motion.
Motion by Council President Early. Second by Councilman Chouwaki. At this point, I open it up to the public on ordinance 2019-1. Now, hearing none, I close it. Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yeah.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
All yes. Ordinance 2019-2, public hearing and adoption. Ordinance amending chapter 87 of the Code of the Borough of Woodlynne, County of Kansas, State of New Jersey, entitled Park and Handicap. At this point, can I get a motion second? Motion by Councilman Fuentes, second by Councilman Chouwaki. At this point here, I open it up to the public on ordinance 2019-2. Not hearing none, I close it. Any other question from council? Oh, I'm sorry, 2019-2, yes.
220 Parker Avenue, Veronica Tucker. I got a couple of things to address.
No, excuse
This
me.
is only on this ordinance.
This is on ordinance 2019-2. Not hearing none, I close it.
I thought you said you open it to the public.
I open up 2019-2.
Let's speak up.
I have. Anybody else? Any other question on it? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
All yes. Ordinance 2019-3. This is a public hearing and adoption. Can I get a motion second?
Motion.
Motion by Council President Early.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Torres. Any question? At this point, I open it up to the public on 2019-3. Not hearing none, I close it. Any question from the council?
Yes, they want to like that, can it be more open to people who may not have that amount of money? Can we start the lower from 25?
This is an introduction on that one. This is the, which one you're talking about?
I'm talking about the one that they want to Parker Avenue that started with a minimum bid of 40. So can we be reducing so that they
That should have been discussed at the last meeting.
Sorry about
We did reduce it. This is according to the tax collector, tax assessor. He felt that this would be reasonable to drop it at this point here. If no bids on it, then we do another one and then try to see what we can do from there.
No problem.
Okay. Any other questions? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Ordinance 2019-4, public hearing and adoption. Can I get a motion second?
Motion.
Motion by Council President Early.
Second.
Second by Council Chouwaki. At this point, I open it to the public for ordinance 2019-4. Not hearing none, I close it. Any question from everybody?
The block 607, block 8, it doesn't have any address.
What's it say? What's the block?
607, block 8.
It's a lot. It's just an empty lot.
It doesn't have like an address.
No, it's only by, because there's no house there. That's why it's identified by the block. do the tax mapping here in town. Any other question? All right, no, close it. Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Now we move forward with no new business, move forward resolution 2019-32, a resolution of the Borough of Woodlynne, Camden County, State of New Jersey, rectifying the memorandum agreement between the Borough of Woodlynne and the Woodlynne Police Department, and authorizing the execution of the collective bargaining agreement. Can I get a motion second?
Motion.
Motion by Council President Early. Second by Councilman Chouwaki. Any question? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Resolution 2019-33, resolution of the Borough of Woodlynne approving the February 2019 municipal meeting minutes. Can I get a motion second? Motion by Councilman Fuentes, second by Councilman Chouwaki. Any question?
Yes. Number 11 is incorrect in our minutes. It says any new business, council president had questions on social media. We actually made a motion for censure for that. It wasn't a question on social
Okay.
media.
Cheryl did the minutes, she'll make the correction on that.
Okay.
Any other question?
Yes, according to the minutes for the meeting that was for December 2018, and January 2019, the org meeting, it stated that I voted yes, when in fact I voted no.
On which one?
According to resolution for the Borough of Woodlynne approved in December 2018 and January 2019 reorganization meeting minutes.
And Cheryl did the minutes, Cheryl, you have to make the correction on that. Make the correction. The minutes for the, he voted no for the resolution, for the reorganization.
For December 2018 and January
Yeah, the
2019.
She'll make the correction.
Thank you.
Any other question? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Motion to approve the bills, bill list.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Torres,
Second.
second by Council President Early. Any question? Full vote?
Mr. Chouwaki?
Yes.
Mr. Fuentes? Ms. Torres?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
President Early?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Any other new business from the governing body? At this point, I open it up to the public now. Please state your name and your address.
Veronica Tucker, 220 Parker Avenue. First, I want to address something to you. I feel like since when you sitting in that seat, you supposed to hold a position where any residents have any questions or when they come to you and they have something to say, I don't think you should catch an attitude because you're supposed to be professional at all times.
I am professional all
And
the
then
time.
when somebody talk to you, for you to turn around and say, this person need to pay their taxes, your job is to collect the taxes. Your job is not to worry about when people paying their taxes.
Taxes is public record. It goes
Yeah,
on the-
but it is,
it
but
goes-
that's
it
not
goes on the record.
professional for you to say.
But you may say that's your feeling. I have different
That's,
opinions.
if you
I have
can't
different
be
opinions.
professional, you don't need to be a mayor. You need to pass your seat
That's
down
your-
to
yeah,
somebody
that's your
that,
opinion.
that can handle the job.
Okay, that's your opinion. I've been doing it for 16 years. I think I've been doing a good job.
Well, that's your opinion.
Thank you.
My second thing I want to know is, when you got people that have multiple positions, how is their salary accountable?
It's all
Like,
one, it's all
are
one
they
lump sum.
clocking in different? Like, how do they do it?
One lump sum.
So it's one lump sum for 6,
My
7
25 years, that's how it's been done with all the other employees.
Okay. Now, my next question is, it seems like you got a family affair. A lot of people's related to you that got these positions. So when it's an open position, like, do you put it in the paper?
Yes, I do.
How do, what do you do?
Absolutely.
Like, what's the paper?
Absolutely, it gets put out in the paper,
When
yes.
was the last time something was advertised? Is the positions open?
There is a
Where the
position open and
residents,
nobody
like,
has applied for that
can see?
position.
Can you
There's a-
repeat that?
There's a position open and nobody's applied for it. We advertise in the paper, we put it in the town's newsletter,
Well, what papers are y'all putting it in?
the town's newsletter.
That's
And then we
it?
put it in the, we put
I
it in
mean, I have
the,
never seen it. That's why I'm asking.
okay, well, we put it in the retrospect in the Courier Post.
So when was the last time something was posted?
Last time that when something went out was sometime last year for the, position of the court recorder.
Okay, and my next question is, a couple
One
of lots.
second, so the tape can come around.
Okay, a couple of
One
lots.
second, so the tape can record everything, all right? Want to make sure you're on record. All right, we'll continue, go ahead.
A couple of lots is like 600 for like, the year for taxes. How is like that so
A
low?
couple, what, I'm sorry.
A couple of lots, like empty lots, like
Uh-huh.
assessments is like 600. Why is it so low?
That's the tax assessor, it's an empty lot. So it depends on what the property is, so that goes, something that you can discuss with the tax assessor.
Okay, and when y'all send out letters, I would like the letters to be up to date because
Letter for what?
like taxes. I just received a delinquent tax letter that's not up to date because I owe $1,600 for this quarter we're in. And I got 2 letters. And the balance stayed $3,200, but that's incorrect. You're the tax collector, right? Or you the one that send them
I'm a deputy
notices
tax
out?
collector, I don't handle that. Tax collector Jennifer DeLuca.
Oh, well, could you tell her to update her information before she sends it to the residents?
Well, she sends what's there on the record, because obviously what was sent before was, you owe more than the $1,600 you
No. How
owe
much do
now.
I owe?
No, sorry.
Yes,
I gave
you need to
money.
correct it.
Excuse me, let me explain to you.
No,
When that
excuse me.
I
letter,
have
excuse
receipts that
me,
says how much I owe. That's
you
not
wanna-
correct. I
but
just
you
got
wanna
the letter and that's not
You want to clear
correct.
something out. When the letter went out, there was a balance that you owe. So then afterward, you came in and paid a different, you put an amount down, which bring your payment down now.
I just
Okay?
got another letter 2 days ago.
She's,
And that's not current. That's what I'm saying. Like, could y'all update it before y'all mail it to the residents?
I will talk to Jennifer DeLuca on that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. And understanding clearly on position that is going out there, that you're saying family members, let's make it very clear. This position was made available to all the residents. Before my time, I was the mayor, and there was another administrator that handled the positions of hiring people. There were people that didn't apply for this position, and we did have, I'll mention it right now, Diana, who applied for the position. She's a resident here, she's a taxpayer, and she asked me, can she apply? I said, you have to go see Regina Brooks, who's the administrator. Regina went ahead and interviewed her, and then the police officer that handled the police department interviewed her. I had no process in the hiring on that. So make that very clear, that when people say the mayor's hiring his family, let's set the record straight also. I don't hire them, okay? So that's the record clear right there. And Mr. Cook, I would appreciate that you can share that with your constituent. When people are out there and you're out there, please inform them the correct information.
Mayor?
That's all I'm saying,
She
it's
has
just that
the-
you correct the
She
people
has
out
the
there when you
right,
speak to
she
people.
has a free mind to ask questions just as much as any resident here in
And
Borough
nobody's
Woodland.
saying she doesn't. I'm just asking you, counsel, when you go out there and you're talking to people,
Mayor,
misleading
I'm not,
people,
there was
because
no
you go out there
conversation.
misleading people.
First off, you don't know if there was a conversation held between me and her about anything.
I'm not
You just
saying
sit
with
there
her.
and assume.
I'm not saying with her.
Mayor, you just
mentioned
for
names.
your-
I didn't mention it. You had told other
But
people
you
that
just
people came to
stated
me.
my name,
Because
Mayor.
people came to me saying, Councilman Cook is saying that you did this and you did that, and you're hiring family
Mayor.
members. So when you're saying out there with the
Once
public, you
again.
need to stand up to what you are putting out there and owe it. Because you are putting propaganda out there, misleading people by your lies. But that's okay, Councilman, because we're gonna get to the bottom of this, because by the sanction coming up, we will show to the resident the truth about your lying.
Mayor, you can't sanction
You
me.
did this
At the-
before.
At the end of the day,
Okay.
we had a reorganization meeting, correct?
All right,
Did we not have a reorganization meeting?
continue.
Out of the reorganization meeting, did you give everybody the full guidelines as far as information, informing them for each position that was being given out?
What position given out? It's all in there. It's in there. These are
The
positions that's been
reappointment
there.
we're talking about for
Yes,
every
sir.
position, sir.
Been in every year appointed, so where were you at? For the last
So
2 years that
here's
you've been
the
on
thing, Mayor.
council, where have you
Here's the
been?
thing, prior to doing
Where
any
have you
reappointment-
been?
Prior to doing reappointments, do you make those do you bring those opportunities to other Woodland residents to
They're
give
not
them?
rehires.
They're not
just
rehired.
reappointments.
They are all
That's
clerk.
what you fail to
Understand it, Councilman. Let me
understand.
explain this to you and explain to the residents. So once and for all, Councilman, so you can get a clear understanding of your obligation, your responsibility, because obviously you don't understand how to be a councilman. Yet, let me tell you something. They are all clerk. And when they're all clerk, there are titles or a position, just like the police department. If you have the all police officer, but then you have to say one's a lieutenant, one's a sergeant, one's a captain, okay, but they are all police officers. So these are all clerk, okay? It is just to break it down to who handles what responsibility, okay? So it's not about saying you're appointing this person or making this position and that position available. These are positions that's been here for the last 25 to 30 years, okay? What we're doing is designated people from the clerk position to their responsibility, who's gonna handle what. Like Sure is the deputy clerk, okay? She's also the public relationship, and she also served with the police department, okay? The clerk for the police department.
They're not jobs
Okay.
for hire. You
They're not
don't
hot jobs that are hired.
understand
These are
what
jobs
you're
as clerk that they are all in charge. So when somebody comes in for the town and they want to know where to direct them, we will direct in the proper place. Not everybody's going to be a clerk, deputy tax collector. Not everybody's going to be a tax assessor. Not everybody's going to be a borough clerk. Not everybody's going to be multiple positions. So they're all broken down, Councilman. So making it very clear to you, okay? Because I think I said that to you prior, and you've come to my office several times and asked me to teach you the ways of how to do things. You always say, Mayor, you're a great leader. I want to be learning from you. Don't tell me you don't, because I have it all in text. So I'll call you on it right now, because you say you're a great father, you're a good man. Please, you know what I mean? Don't lie. Because even when you came to my house with your wife, your girlfriend, I mean, you came to my house asking me for forgiveness. And I gave you the apology. Yes, you did. You did
By
so.
far not, sir.
Okay, then you know what?
By far not.
Well, you need to remember where
Well,
you're
once
at.
again, you're talking about positions which you hold that are comparison to Elaine Harper's positions for registered deputy tax collector, which she holds the same titles, and you're justifying that these positions that you're holding equals out to the salary that you're getting.
Understand it, I don't get paid for that position. I hold it, but I don't get paid for it, okay?
So Mayor, so what
very clear
justifies
to
the
you,
$73,000 salary for a mayor
as the administrator,
as the administrator?
yes. As the
So
administrator.
you do the analysis,
Paying my tax.
you do the analysis in 2011
Excuse me.
that there was a letter given to you by the Department of Community Affairs that states that you could not hold the administrative title.
And I don't. I'm serving as administrator. The attorney had explained that to you before, Councilman. How thick-headed are you that you can't even understand
again,
that
Mayor.
when he sends that to you?
Once again,
Excuse
you
me,
acknowledge
guys,
that you
guys,
resigned
if
from
this
the
is gonna
position,
continue, I'm gonna
but yet
make a
you
motion to
serve the
adjourn.
office of the position?
I am doing administration work. No, 1 second. I am doing work of administration. I am serving the community by doing administration. The deputy tax collector, I do it at no charge.
Is it
I
not
know.
a comparability of your office to hold multiple positions?
Excuse me, what is it?
Is it considered a comparability
No,
of
no. According to our attorney, no, it's not.
for you to hold multiple positions?
No, according to the attorney, no.
So how can you do the breakdown for each position that you hold?
I am being paid as the mayor doing administration work. Okay, there's the 73 that you're talking about. Okay, actually 71 because the 2,500 is included from the mayor's salary, included in that. Okay, so
What is the mayor's salary?
2,500
2,500.
Correct.
Okay.
And you making what right now?
because I'm doing the administration work. All right. We had an administrator back in 2008 making over $75,000, and nobody had a problem with it. You didn't have a problem giving the school board administrator $125,000, right?
Two different entities,
Oh,
Mayor.
please, let's not
focus
go
on
back,
you.
you know what I mean? Let's not go back,
We're
Councilman, you know what I
focusing
mean?
on you, Mayor, so
Oh,
how is
focusing,
it?
and I just
All
told you.
right,
So where is it in your mind you
If
can't
you're
understand that?
supposed to, if you're supposed to be focused on your jobs, how can you sit up here and justify each position that you hold
Because I'm doing
at
it.
the price tag?
I'm doing it. Saving the taxpayer over $60,000.
$60,000?
Over $60,000.
How about saving them $73,000 and giving those positions to people that deserve to have them that's within our borough?
Why? I'm a taxpayer. I live here. I do it. Why?
Mayor,
Why?
for you to be here and be at a fire
Please, you know
call,
what? Be your
you
joke
were
again.
just
Play your
recently at a
joke.
fire call, wasn't you?
Yes, yes,
Excuse
yes.
me,
And I say something, excuse me.
Here, right?
Excuse me. I'm gonna say
Chief Figueroa has
something.
an
You wanna talk about a fire call? I go on fire call, yes. But
While
you know
you're
what?
supposed to be
Well, let me
working
explain
here.
something. Let me tell you something.
With all the multiple positions,
Let me
right?
explain something to you. Yes, let me explain something to you. But you know what
Mayor
happens on this?
incompetent.
No,
Doing
you
your
don't wanna
job.
know something, Councilman? I don't take my
I'm gonna
lunch.
call you out. You're
Call me out.
incompetent of doing your job.
Let me tell you something. Excuse me.
How many years have you robbed the residents of their
Excuse
money?
me. I ain't robbed nothing. You are the thief.
Mayor, by far not.
Okay? You
By
are.
far not.
Excuse me. At this point here, Councilman, you are full of it.
By
You
far
are
not.
full of it. You're full of it.
Mayor, by
By
far
lying.
not. How much
You
do
are
you
a
pay for
liar.
each fire
You
call,
are a
Mayor?
liar.
$5
Now
for
we
the
go
resident for
there.
each
So
fire
what
call?
I go into is, you know what, Councilman? I'm not
Mayor, there's nothing to hide. The state told you you
He
couldn't
didn't give
do
me
it.
this
And what am I
information.
doing
Public
now?
record.
And what did McKenna say to you? That I can do the mayor as a
And
full-time.
McKenna suggested that you shouldn't be doing it.
And I'm the full-time mayor to doing the work now as the
Who made you
administration.
full-time mayor? Because I didn't vote
Council,
for
you
it.
weren't here for it. I was already here.
Half step with your type to make sure your type
Please,
of all.
Councilman.
Get it
please.
straight. Yes, get it straight.
Excuse
This
me,
is what
Councilman. Have some order there. At this point here, I will say to everyone here that I want to first apologize for the public. The way the meeting just was proposed in front of you. And we should not be bickering in this direction. So I want to take it first by apologizing. I am going to now ask for Mr. Figueroa to come up, please, to address some needs that you want to address.
Mayor and council, residents, good evening. What I want to do is, as you know, we have different sections in the borough, such as Public Works, Police Department, and others. And one of the things that you have to do, especially if you have a situation, is you have to know how to work together and bring all those assets together so that you can improve and you know, provide the safety to the residents of Woodlynne. So, well, what I have is Department of Public Works. They're always out there doing their job, trying to make sure that the area is clean. And they work well with the police department because when we have floods or we have other little catastrophes, they're out there putting barricades up, making sure that they divert traffic. And certainly it gives us a hand when we're out there trying to do what needs to be done. So what I have here, along with Council President Early, are some awards and letter of commendation for the Public Works workers. If you'll step up here, please. Oh, just about everybody's here. All right.
I do. Chief, I want to say how much I do appreciate you bringing this to light. These guys do a lot of things, and people do not fully realize the scope of work that they do. When we've had some bad weather recently, I personally witnessed one of the Public Works, Mr. Hernandez, chopping up thick ice on Cedar Avenue by hand and then taking the backhoe and hauling it to the ball field so that the street was not a skating rink anymore when we had simultaneous water breaks. Whenever I call, like when when the neighbors had an issue with sewer, Ricky was the one to come out, take care of it for us. They put the barriers up, and they came back and put new barriers up because the wind kept blowing them down, so he went back and got heavier barriers. And these guys, I always see them down at the playground picking up the trash in the cans and the receptacles along Woodlynne Avenue. So it's, it's like an everyday thing for these guys, and, people just take it for granted, and it's nice for them to be appreciated.
All right, it's just a little thing to say thank you to all of you for the great job that you do. So I'd like to read what the commendation has here. The employees of the Woodlynne Department of Public Works deserve recognition for the exemplary manner in which they perform their difficult everyday tasks for the residents of Woodlynne. My observations and those of others agree that they are extremely devoted to performing their assigned task in a very professional manner. They are quick to respond to the concerns of the residents and the police department. They have an they have an extremely difficult job with limited resources. However, they always seem to get the job done. They are without a doubt an invaluable asset to the borough. It is unfortunate that some fail to realize the merits of their sweat and toil. For the reasons given, the members of the Woodlynne Police Department want to extend our congratulations to each and every one of the below listed workers, the Department of Public Works, for how they devoted themselves to the public service and safety of the borough of Woodlynne. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I want to thank the mayor, council, people here, and the chief for this. I appreciate it. We try to work with everybody, and we try to do the best we can. And it's not easy. Sometimes we come out here at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was funny because this week I was helping with a sewer, and the mayor was there, and he kind of choked because, you know, the stuff was coming out, and he says, if I will do this, I will quit tomorrow. So a lot of people don't know what we deal with, but we work with the police department, you know, with Edgar and the lieutenant and everybody, and we work together. They're a bunch of great guys. They respect us, they help us out, and we help each other. So it's something that is appreciated, and thank you, Chief, for this is more than that I can say. I appreciate it. I want to do a small prayer because I think we need to pray. Pray. I'm going to do a small prayer, and then I'll finish. Bear with me because I want to pray and I feel like praying. I don't know why, but you know. Heavenly Father, I thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We thank you for allowing us to live one more day. I ask you, Father, a blessing for everybody here, Father. I ask you, Father, to bring shalom, to bring peace into our hearts. Because every day that you give us is something beautiful. And we don't know about tomorrow. I ask you for peace. I ask you to protect the people here in this town. To protect the cops. They go out there and they put their lives at risk every day they go out there. I ask you to keep them safe and to keep our families safe, Father. We need you more than ever. I ask you for the people that are on need. I ask you for the people that are suffering, the people that are in the hospitals, to take care of them, Father. And I ask you for the homeless, and I ask you for the widows, and the orphans, and the people that don't have. I ask you to have mercy on them, Father. And I ask you, Father, to bring joy into our hearts and peace. Thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. Thank you for this. In the name of Yeshua, I ask you this. Amen. Thank you.
Good job.
We're going to move on to the police department here, if that's okay. A lot of times the police department get involved in situations here that you may not hear about or see because of the fact that those investigations after an arrest is made continues on, such as with the prosecutor's office or federal agencies and state agencies. The reason for that is sometimes they need to barter with the individuals that are arrested to provide us with information so we can further our investigations. And what we want to do is keep that information confidential. So I have an award here, and it dates back to 2018. And the reason for that is that we couldn't divulge any information about the situation until we got permission from the federal authorities, prosecutor, and we did. So therefore, what I want to do is bring up Detective Edgar Feliciano. And I'm going to read to you exactly what happened. Actually, it's a shorter version because I think it was four pages to this, and then several pages from the federal agencies. On February 27, 2018, Detective Feliciano was contacted by the U.S. Marshal's Office asking for assistance in locating a fugitive that they have been tracking. The information they received was that the fugitive, Wilfredo Valcarcel, was seen in the borough of Woodlynne in the area of Woodlynne and Chestnut Avenues. Mr. Varkel was wanted for homicide and 2 counts of aggravated assault in the city of Camden. Detective Feliciano, I almost said Figueroa. Detective Feliciano went to the given locations to gather information on the fugitive and was given verifiable information that he was staying at 211 Chestnut Avenue. The area was secured by the U.S. Marshal's, Prosecutor's Office, and Woodlynne Police Department while an application was being made for a search warrant. Once the search warrant was approved, entry was made into the premises without incident. Once inside, the resident, Mr. Wilfredo Valcarcel, and 2 other individuals were inside the residence. Once the premises were deemed secure, a search of the apartment began. Upon completion of the search, it netted 2 semi-automatic handguns, 2 assault rifles, and a sawed-off shotgun, and numerous amounts of ammunition. Also confiscated and entered into evidence were large amounts of crack cocaine, heroin, and smaller amounts of marijuana. There was also an assortment of packaging materials such as scales, grinders, mixing bowls, and metal strainers, evidence indicative of drug packaging and a supply house. All 3 were charged with serious weapons and drug violations, while Valcar had the additional warrants of being a fugitive for the charges of homicide and 2 counts of aggravated assault involving 2 shootings. Detective Feliciano's keen sense of acquiring vital information and moving quickly allowed him to coordinate law enforcement efforts to bring a criminal enterprise to a halt. He is well deserving of this recognition for his dedication to duty and preserving the safety of the borough of Woodlynne.
No speech, thank you.
No speech?
No speech.
Oh, okay.
I do. I want to address the public. I just want you all to understand that truly our Woodlynne police officers are our finest. And I just ask each and every one of you every day that you go through and you see them, say hello, give them a hug, give them a smile, and understand one thing, keep them in prayer because they put their lives on the line for your life today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Residents, thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
So I just want to recap on something. Just want to make the record clear. Back in 2008, I was the administrator. Later on, the state said that they don't recommend that mayor shares administration and mayor at the same time. So it was clearly said that I could step down or I could be full-time mayor, which back then in 2010, council voted to make me the full-time mayor doing administration work. The administrator back then was making over $75,000, which I'm still making less than that. Understanding clearly, I am not the only mayor in Camden County or in the state that serves the same duties and responsibility. There are other mayors that does the same thing as what I do now today. So therefore, I do more work in the sense of I've taken on responsibility that I do not charge. Although I might have a title, because if I didn't have the title, then I cannot do the job. Perfect example, our deputy tax collector has been out of medical condition, been out for over a month. I have handled the responsibility of taking care of all that responsibility, not charging anything extra. So therefore, when you look at jobs that I have done and what I do, it's because myself, as a taxpayer, I know what our taxes rates are. So I have done what I can do in my power to try to keep tax rate down. So it's no difference from me making $73,000 or $75,000, as our previous administrator back in 2007 was making. So what I'm saying to the residents here, yes, there is a significant amount of savings. Yes, I do multiple positions, but those are done at keeping the tax rate down. And there's nothing wrong for me to do what I am doing, because it was already approved through the state. All the state said was that they didn't feel that a mayor and administrator should serve as two separate entities. So let's either combine them, or you can separate. So what council decided was to combine. Okay? So to say anything else is misleading, but understand it clearly through the advice of our solicitor, who reviewed all the documents and submitted all the documents to the state, was made very clear. And I will say again, there is no difference from me, and there are other mayors who does the same thing. So what I will also suggest to say is that I go on fire calls because I am a volunteer firefighter. I might go on a call during working hours. As the same as I go on a call at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, which I've done in the cold winter. But also understanding clearly, and Cheryl's a testament to this, there are plenty of times that I do not take a lunch. And those times I am not getting paid for my breaks or my time that I should be being paid for. So it's still rather if I go on a call or I don't go on a call. There have been plenty of times that I also stay after hours to make sure that the day-to-day operation is taken care of. So if I go on a call for 15, 20 minutes, I will still go on those calls because it's needed. As I stated before, if we were to close our fire department, it will cost the taxpayer over $200,000. At this point here, it is no difference than what the past administration would do when they were working and going on calls. So I will go on a call. There was a car accident early in the morning. We took care of that situation. I was not working, but I was on that call, for the record. So when they say that there was a call this week that I just went, I took off that day, but I went on that call. And I also where I went on the call, I stopped downstairs just to check in to make sure that things are operating well, as they all knew that I took the day off. Took a personal day to take care of a personal matter. So I was off that day when that call came through. But yes, I will continue to go on calls, because God forbids anybody's house that's on fire or needs a need of emergency that you need to have somebody to respond. For me to sit in the office knowing that there is a need of emergency, for me to sit there knowing that someone in this town needs help and assistance, I will go. And yet, I will continue to fulfill my duty, my obligation, by doing my job as I've done since 2008.
But you're not certified, and if you come out, don't they still gotta wait for other people to come out?
I'm a certified firefighter. I went through the Camden County Fire Academy and graduated from Camden County College. Okay? So let's get the record straight. So as I speak to the residents here, understanding clearly that there are times that I do go on a call, but yet I still put time. I stay here sometimes to 6, 7 o'clock at nighttime, doing my duties, doing my job, because that is something that needs to be done for the day-to-day operation. Whether there's a call or not, Cheryl can testify, who's been here for many years, for over the 25 years that I can tell you, and she can tell you how many times I've stayed late to continue to do the work that needs to be done. And yet, I do not get paid extra for that. Okay. So, I, again, want to apologize to the resident for the outburst out there, but for the record, I want to make sure that it's stated that when I do perform a job, I'm making sure that every resident is getting every dollar earned for what I put out there. Because I worked hard to continue saving the taxpayer money. That's why, again, we did a zero tax increase last year. And again, we're anticipating, if everything goes well, that we'll do another zero tax increase for this year. So what I would clearly make sure that everybody understands it.
I don't see no savings.
But you're taxed 3 ways, ma'am. Before you go out bursting, look at your way you're taxed, okay? So you're taxed 3 ways. Now, those 3 ways, Mayor and Council has no control in your school taxes, and we have no control in your county taxes. We only control your local taxes. So therefore, when people are going around to say that, yeah, the guys from Public Work go on a call, yeah, these guys will show up sometimes. These guys also show up when they're not working. I commend Derek, I commend Lewis, go out on calls to assist. These guys come out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They come on the weekend call. So if they're to stop from what they're doing at work and take a 15-minute to serve the community, it's still something that they're volunteering their service. It's not about, we don't have the time to have these guys clock out for a 10 or 15-minute call. Let's see what's more important, $2.50 or your life dependent on an emergency matter. So I think at $2.50, you can't put a price on your emergency.
Question.
Motion to adjourn.
I'm asking for the floor, Mayor.
And I'm saying,
And
no,
I'm asking for
motion
the
to
floor,
adjourn.
Mayor, once again.
I conduct the meeting.
And
Motion
I'm
to adjourn.
entitled to ask the question.
Madam Mayor,
Motion
on
once
favor?
again.
Aye. Motion adjourned.
Wow, that up.